Have you ever wondered why some people seem to have been born under a lucky star, while others constantly struggle no matter how hard they try? Why do certain patterns in your life keep repeating, even when you consciously try to change them? The truth is, there is a hidden mathematics governing the universe, a series of principles as ancient as time itself, as powerful as the force that keeps planets in orbit, and as present in your life as the air you are breathing right now. These are the 12 universal laws, laws that the greatest masters in history understood, that the most successful entrepreneurs intuitively apply, that true leaders naturally embody, and that modern science is only beginning to grasp through quantum physics. The most fascinating part? These laws are at work in your life right now, whether you are aware of them or not. Like gravity, they don't ask for permission to operate. But unlike gravity, once you understand them, once you learn how to work with them, your potential becomes virtually limitless. In the next few minutes, I'm going to share with you not just theory, but practical, transformative knowledge that can fundamentally change the way you see and create your reality. These are principles that, once understood, have the power to revolutionize every aspect of your life, your relationships, your prosperity, your personal fulfillment, and your connection to your true purpose. Before we dive into each of the 12 laws, it's essential to understand something crucial. These are not rules invented by someone. They are not self-help theories or motivational concepts. They are fundamental principles woven into the very fabric of the universe. Think about how a gardener works. He doesn't force a seed to grow. Instead, he understands and cooperates with natural laws, providing just the right amount of water, ensuring adequate sunlight, and nurturing the soil. A gardener thrives not by fighting against nature's laws, but by working in harmony with them. In the same way, when you understand the 12 universal laws, you stop swimming against the current of life. Instead of struggling, you learn to flow. Instead of forcing, you learn to attract. Instead of fearing the unknown, you begin to recognize the divine patterns that orchestrate all of existence. But here's the most important point. These laws are not just concepts to be studied. They are principles to be lived. Each one is constantly at work, shaping your reality on multiple levels. On the physical level, through the material circumstances of your life. On the mental level, influencing your thoughts and decisions. On the emotional level, affecting your feelings and relationships. On the spiritual level, guiding your evolution and purpose. And the most extraordinary part? When you begin to consciously understand and apply these laws, something almost magical happens. Life starts to flow more naturally. Coincidences increase. Opportunities seem to appear at the perfect moment. Obstacles transform into stepping stones for your growth. But let me offer a word of caution. What you are about to learn is not a magic formula for instant wish fulfillment. It is an invitation to a deeper understanding of how the universe works and your role within it. Now let's explore each of these laws, starting with the most fundamental of all, the Law of Mentalism. This law is the key that unlocks the doors to all the others, and understanding it will forever change the way you see reality. Law of Mentalism. The universe is mental. Everything is mind. Imagine for a moment that you are dreaming. In the dream, everything feels incredibly real. You can see, touch, feel, and hear. But when you wake up, you realize that entire reality existed only in your mind. The Law of Mentalism reveals something astonishing. Our waking reality works in a very similar way. This is the first and most fundamental of all universal laws, establishing that everything in the universe is, at its core, mental energy. Every physical object, every emotion, every circumstance begins first as a thought, whether in the divine mind or the human mind. Think about how your smartphone first existed as an idea in someone's mind, or how your current home was initially visualized by an architect, or even how that argument you had yesterday started with a single thought that you nurtured. This law is not just philosophical, it is profoundly practical. It reveals that your thoughts are not just things in your head, but seeds of physical reality. Every thought you hold is like a program running in the universal computer, continuously shaping your life experience. And here's the most powerful part. If everything is mind, Then by changing your mental patterns, you literally begin to reprogram your reality. That's why the ancient master said, "As within, so without." But how does this connect to our everyday lives? That's where our second universal law comes in, the law of correspondence. Law of correspondence. As above, so below, as within, so without. If the law of mentalism teaches us that everything is mind, the law of correspondence reveals how that mind manifests across different levels of reality. It's like an infinite fractal, where each part reflects the whole. Take a moment to observe your own life. Have you ever noticed how the state of your room often mirrors the state of your mind? When we feel mentally cluttered, our physical space tends to become chaotic. When we find inner peace, we naturally create harmony around us. This law explains why your external relationships are a perfect reflection of the relationship you have with yourself. Why your financial prosperity mirrors your internal relationship with abundance. Why your physical health often reflects your emotional well-being. It's no coincidence that the same patterns keep repeating in your life, from the smallest cell in your body to your greatest achievements. Each part contains the information of the whole, just as a single drop of water holds all the properties of the ocean. The beauty of this law lies in its practical application. If you want to change any external aspect of your life, start by transforming its internal counterpart. Want more respect from others? First, cultivate self-respect. Want more abundance? Begin by nurturing a mindset of prosperity. And this leads us directly to the next universal law, which reveals how this transformation takes place, the law of vibration. Law of vibration. Nothing rests, everything moves, everything vibrates. Modern science confirms what ancient masters already knew. At the most fundamental level, everything in the universe is energy in constant motion. From the tiniest atom to the vastest galaxy, everything vibrates at a specific frequency. But what does this mean for you? Your thoughts, emotions, and mental states are also forms of energy, each vibrating at its own frequency. Anxiety has a vibration. Peace has another. Abundance vibrates differently from scarcity. It's like a radio. You tune in to the frequency you want to receive. When you consistently focus on gratitude, you align with the frequency of abundance. When you live in a state of fear, you tune into experiences that confirm that fear. The fascinating part is that you can consciously choose your vibrational frequency. A joyful person doesn't just decide to be happy, they consistently maintain a vibrational state of joy. A prosperous entrepreneur doesn't just work hard, they align their vibration with prosperity. This law explains why monitoring your thoughts and emotions is so important. They are literally your vibrational signature in the universe. And here's the key. You don't attract what you want, you attract what you are vibrationally. And it's precisely at this point that we uncover something even deeper with the law of polarity. Law of polarity. Everything is dual. Everything has poles. Everything has its pair of opposites. Think of a coin. No matter how long you examine it, you can never have just one side. The same principle applies to all of existence. Every experience, every situation, every aspect of life exists in duality. Where there is light, there is shadow. Where there is success, there is failure. Where there is love, there is fear. But here's the transformative revelation. These opposites are not truly separate. They are simply extremes of the same thing. Cold and heat seem like opposites, but they are just different degrees of temperature. Success and failure are merely different measures of the same experience. Sadness and joy are varying intensities of the same emotional spectrum. This law frees us from judging our experiences as good or bad. That challenge that seems so negative, it is inseparable from the opportunity for growth it brings. That failure you fear so much, it is simply the other pole of the success you seek. The power of this understanding is revolutionary. If you are experiencing something you don't want, you can consciously move toward its opposite. Feeling down? The opposite pole, joy, is always available. All it takes is for you to start shifting in that direction. And it is precisely this movement between poles that leads us to the next universal law, the law of rhythm. Law of rhythm. Everything flows in and out. Everything has its tides. All things rise and fall. Look at nature. Day turns into night, the seasons change, the moon waxes and wanes. Life is a constant dance of cycles and rhythms, and your personal life is no different. This law reveals a profound truth. Nothing stays the same forever. Markets rise and fall, relationships go through ups and downs. Your energy and motivation fluctuate like waves in the ocean. Even your mood follows a rhythmic pattern. Many people suffer because they resist this natural rhythm. When they are up, they believe it will last forever. When they are down, they think they will never see the light again. But the law of rhythm teaches us everything is temporary. The key is to learn how to ride these waves instead of fighting against them. When you're in a valley, know that the peak is on its way. When you're at the top, use that energy to prepare for the next cycle. This understanding brings deep peace. Your current struggles are not permanent. Neither are your moments of glory. What truly matters is how you navigate these rhythms, how you learn and grow with each cycle. And it is this conscious navigation that leads us to the next fundamental law, the law of cause and effect. Law of cause and effect. Every cause has its effect. Every effect has its cause. Nothing happens by chance. Have you ever stopped to think about why your life is exactly the way it is right now? Every circumstance, every relationship, every outcome you experience today is the effect of causes you set in motion in the past. This law is relentless in its precision. The universe does not make mistakes, does not play favorites, and does not act randomly. It works like planting a seed. If you plant an apple seed, you cannot expect to harvest oranges. Every thought you hold, every word you speak, every action you take is a seed planted in the garden of your life. The transformative power of this law lies in understanding that you are always the gardener. If you are not satisfied with the fruits you are harvesting today, you have the power to plant new seeds now. Your thoughts today create your reality tomorrow. But here's the fascinating detail. Just as there is a time gap between planting a seed and harvesting its fruit, there is also a delay between cause and effect in our lives. This is why we don't always see an immediate connection between our choices and their results. This law invites us to take full responsibility for our lives, knowing that every present moment is an opportunity to create new causes for the future effects we desire. And here, we encounter an even deeper dimension with the law of gender. Law of gender. Gender is in everything. Everything has its masculine and feminine principles. This is not just about biology or identity. This law reveals that the entire universe operates through the interaction of complementary energies, often called masculine and feminine, though they go far beyond these labels. Think about electricity. It requires both a positive and a negative pole to flow. In nature, we see this in flower pollination, in the dance between electrons and protons within atoms. In ourselves, it manifests as the interaction between our logical mind, traditionally associated with the masculine, and our creative intuition, often linked to the feminine. The masculine principle represents action, initiative, logic. The feminine principle symbolizes receptivity, nurturing, creativity. Each of us, regardless of biological gender, possesses both energies. The balance between them is crucial for a fulfilling life. When you have an idea, feminine, and take action on it, masculine, you are applying this law. When you balance work, masculine, with rest, feminine, you are harmonizing these energies. The key is to recognize and honor both aspects in your life. A life driven purely by masculine energy can lead to burnout and emotional detachment. A life dominated solely by feminine energy can result in passivity and lack of achievement. Understanding this law helps us cultivate deeper relationships, make more balanced decisions, and live in a more integrated way. And this balance prepares us to grasp the next law, the law of attraction. Law of attraction. Like attracts like. Your thoughts and emotions attract corresponding experiences. You may have heard of this law before, but its depth goes far beyond the simple idea of think positive and good things will happen. The law of attraction is a fundamental principle of the universe, operating constantly, whether we are aware of it or not. Imagine yourself as a living transmission tower. Every thought, emotion, and belief you hold is a signal you send out to the universe. And like a cosmic magnet, you attract experiences, people, and circumstances that vibrate at the same frequency as your signal. Here's the crucial point. It's not just about what you consciously think, but about your overall vibrational state. Your subconscious beliefs, habitual emotional patterns, and even your unspoken expectations are constantly shaping your reality. That's why sometimes, even when we try to think positively, we still attract negative experiences, because our underlying vibration may still be aligned with fear or doubt. The good news? You have the power to adjust your frequency. By consciously cultivating thoughts, emotions, and beliefs that align with what you desire, you naturally begin to attract corresponding experiences. Remember, the universe doesn't judge your thoughts as good or bad. It simply responds to your vibration. That's why the key is to consistently stay in the frequency of what you want to manifest. And it is precisely this ability to shift our vibration that leads us to the next transformative law, the law of transmutation. Law of transmutation. All energy can be transformed from one form to another. Imagine a medieval alchemist trying to turn lead into gold. While we may not be able to do that literally, the law of transmutation reveals that we can perform an even more powerful kind of alchemy, the transformation of our internal energies. This law states that no energy is static. Everything is in constant flow, ready to be redirected and transformed. And this applies directly to our emotions, thoughts, and life experiences. That anger you feel, it can be transmuted into determination. That anxiety, it can become excitement. That fear of failure, it can be the seed of your greatest achievement. The key is understanding that you are not a passive container of energy. You are an active transformer. When a negative emotion arises, instead of repressing it or being consumed by it, you can consciously choose to channel it into a more constructive form. In practice, this means that every challenge in your life is not an obstacle, but an opportunity for growth. Every problem contains the energy that, when transmuted, becomes the solution. This law reminds us that we are never stuck in any state or circumstance. We have the divine power of transmutation within us. It's like having a superpower, the ability to take any negative situation and transform it into something positive and beneficial. And this deep understanding of the ever-changing nature of all things leads us to the next fundamental law, the law of relativity. Law of relativity. Everything is relative. Nothing exists in isolation. Imagine you're in a dark room. Someone lights a small candle. In that moment, the candle seems incredibly bright. But if a spotlight were turned on, that same candle would appear dim. The brightness of the candle hasn't changed. Only our perception of it has. This is the essence of the law of relativity. It teaches us that nothing in the universe has absolute value. Everything is measured and experienced in relation to something else. Think about your life for a moment. That problem that seems so big today, compared to what? What do you consider success? Is it relative to your past, to other people's expectations, or to a standard you have set for yourself? The beauty of this law lies in its liberating power. When you understand that everything is relative, you gain the ability to reframe any situation. A failure can be seen as a great learning experience when compared to being stagnant. A current challenge may seem small when you compare it to obstacles you've already overcome. On a deeper level, this law invites us to question our own perspectives. What you consider good or bad is merely an interpretation based on your limited experience. By expanding our vision, we can find new solutions and opportunities that were previously hidden. The law of relativity reminds us that we have the power to choose the context through which we interpret our experiences. And it is this conscious choice that leads us to the next transformative law, the law of harmony. Law of harmony. When aligned with the universal flow, we experience peace, abundance, and fulfillment. Imagine a symphony orchestra. Each musician may be talented on their own, but it is only when they play in harmony that true magic happens. The universe operates in much the same way. The law of harmony teaches us that there is a natural and balanced flow in all things. When we align ourselves with this flow, life becomes easier, more abundant, and more meaningful. It's like swimming with the current instead of fighting against it. But how do we find this harmony in a world that often feels chaotic? First, by recognizing that disharmony is often the result of resistance. When we fight against what is, when we cling rigidly to expectations, we create friction. Harmony emerges when we accept the present, even as we work toward a better future. Second, by understanding that harmony does not mean the absence of challenges. Just as a harmonious piece of music has moments of tension and resolution, our life journey includes highs and lows. The key is to see these moments as part of a greater symphony, not as obstacles. In practice, living in harmony means tuning into your intuition, respecting natural cycles, as we explored in the Law of Rhythm, and seeking balance in all areas of life. It's about creating rather than forcing, flowing rather than resisting. When we live in harmony, we not only benefit individually but also contribute to the harmony of the whole. And this interconnection leads us to the final, and perhaps the most profound, of the universal laws, the law of divine oneness. Law of divine oneness. Everything is connected. We are all one. We have now reached the deepest and most transformative law of all. The law of divine oneness reveals a fundamental truth. Behind the apparent separation and diversity of the world, there is an underlying unity that connects everything and everyone. Imagine an ocean. Each wave appears separate and unique, yet all are expressions of the same water. In the same way, every being, every object, and every thought in the universe is an expression of the same universal consciousness. This law is not just a philosophical concept. It has profound and practical implications for our lives. Compassion. By recognizing that we are all connected, we naturally develop greater empathy and understanding for others. Responsibility. We realize that our actions affect the whole. Every thought, word, and action creates ripples that extend throughout the universe. Abundance. We understand that we are not separate from the source of all creation. Abundance is not something external to be achieved, but an internal reality to be recognized. Purpose. We see that each of us has a unique and essential role in the grand cosmic design. Living with the awareness of this unity radically transforms our experience. Fears based on separation dissolve. Competition gives way to collaboration. Judgment transforms into understanding. The law of divine oneness invites us to see beyond appearances, to recognize the sacred in everything and everyone, and to live with the awareness that every moment is an expression of the divine whole. Practical application. Now that we have explored the 12 universal laws, you might be wondering, how can I apply this in my daily life? Let's translate this knowledge into practical actions that you can start implementing right away. Conscious awareness practice. Dedicate a few minutes each day to reflect on each law. How does it manifest in your life? For example, observe how your thoughts, Law of Mentalism, are shaping your current experiences. Vibration journal. Keep a vibration journal where you note your predominant emotional states throughout the day. This will help you become more aware of your vibrational frequency, law of vibration, and how it influences your outcomes. Reframing challenges. When facing a challenge, practice seeing it from different perspectives, law of relativity. Ask yourself, how can this situation be a disguised opportunity? Gratitude ritual. Before bed, list 3 things you are grateful for. This aligns you with a higher frequency and activates the law of attraction in a positive way. Oneness meditation. Practice a short daily meditation where you visualize your connection with all things, law of divine oneness. This can deeply transform your perspective and relationships. Aligned action. Before making important decisions, check if they are in harmony with your values and the natural flow of life, law of harmony. Ask yourself, is this action putting me in alignment or in resistance? Emotional transmutation. When a negative emotion arises, instead of repressing it, ask yourself, how can I channel this energy constructively? Law of transmutation, cyclical planning. When setting goals, consider the natural cycles in your life, law of rhythm. Align your objectives and actions with these rhythms for greater effectiveness. Balancing opposites. Identify areas in your life that seem to be at extremes and seek balance. Law of polarity. For example, if you have been working too much, how can you incorporate more rest? Creative responsibility. Whenever you catch yourself blaming external circumstances, pause and ask, how have my past thoughts or actions contributed to this situation? Law of cause and effect. Masculine-feminine integration. Practice combining decisive action, masculine energy, with intuition and receptivity, feminine energy, in your daily decisions. Law of gender. Mindfulness of connections. Throughout the day, take regular pauses to observe interconnections in your life. How do your actions affect others and the environment around you? Law of correspondence. Final thought. True mastery comes with consistent practice. Start by incorporating one or two of these practices at a time and observe how your reality begins to shift. The universe is always responding to your vibration. What will you choose to create today? We have reached the end of this journey through the 12 universal laws, but in reality, this is just the beginning. The knowledge you have gained here is not just information. It is a key to unlocking a new level of awareness and personal power. Imagine yourself as a conductor standing before a cosmic orchestra. Until now, you may have been playing the symphony of your life without knowing all the notes or instruments available to you. But now, with an understanding of these laws, you have access to the full score of the universe. Remember, these laws are not imposed rules, but fundamental principles that are already operating in your life. True power comes from consistent application. Knowing the laws is the first step. Living them is where the magic happens. Be patient with yourself. Like any new skill, mastering these laws takes time and practice. Stay curious and open-minded. The more you explore these laws, the more deeply you will see how they manifest in every aspect of your life. As you integrate this knowledge, you will begin to notice subtle but profound changes. Challenges that once seemed insurmountable will become opportunities for growth. Synchronicities will increase. You will feel more aligned with your purpose and more connected to the natural flow of life. You are embarking on a journey of self-discovery and personal mastery. Every day is a new opportunity to align more deeply with these universal truths. Always remember, you are not separate from these laws. You are a living expression of them. By living in harmony with them, you not only transform your own life but also contribute to the evolution of all consciousness. May your journey be illuminated, powerful, and profoundly transformative.